Hi, and welcome to Admire Unlimited. We are so excited to have you on board. In this video, I will be showing you how to use Paymo, our client portal. In Paymo, you can submit tasks, create sessions, and communicate with your consultant so that you can have the best experience using Admire software. Let's get started. As soon as you join Admire Unlimited, you will receive 3 emails from Paymo, one welcoming you to Paymo, and with this link you can open up Paymo, which we'll get to shortly. Another one showcasing the fact that you've been added to the custom work project and consultant session project. You could ignore these 2 emails for now. Let's go back to the first email. Let's click on this link and this will open up Paymo. You'll be prompted to enter in your name and set up a password. After doing so, Paymo will open. Pro tip, as always, click the little star here to save this in our bookmarks bar. We can just get rid of that and have it saved as Paymo and hit done. And in the future, if we ever want to come back to Paymo, we can just click over here and load up Paymo as well. Over here, you'll see your projects, your consultant sessions project, and your custom work project. Now, your custom work project you generally will not touch. If you ever make a request for your consultant and your consultant decides that that's actual custom work, they will add that to this project here. So it's not something you really have to worry about right now. If something ever becomes custom work, your consultant will be in touch with you about that. What we do want to focus on today is the consultant session project. In the overview, we're going to have all sorts of relevant links for your organization's particular Admire. You'll have over here a link to a client folder, which in my case, because I'm using a demo account, does not have, but you'll have a link there and that will have all relevant information for your particular organization's Admire usage. You have a link to Admire Academy, where we have a manual and many articles on how to use the software and particular things within the software. You have an Admire community link, which will enable you to communicate with the community by asking questions of other Admire users. We have Academy videos, which again are videos on how to use the software. You have a link to the actual software of Admire Unlimited. By clicking here, you can open up the program. You have a tutorial on how to use Paymo, and you have a link, a Calendly link, to create sessions with your consultant. Over here you have tasks, and you'll see over here on this page all sorts of sessions that have already been set up between you and your consultant. Now, the main work that you'll do in Paymo is either in the overview tab or the task tab. The milestones tab is not relevant, the discussions tab is not relevant, and the activity feed, which you're going to see the different things that you've done, is also not relevant. You're going to focus on the overview tab, where, as we mentioned, you'll use these links and book sessions, as we'll describe shortly. And the task view is where you're going to see all the different sessions that have been booked. We're going to go back to the overview and show how to book a session with your consultant. I'm going to click on the Calendly link, which will take me to Calendly, and my consultant's name is Hannah Klar, but in your case it can be somebody else, which will have their name at the top. I'm going to choose a 1 hour, but you can also choose a 30-minute session. I'm going to choose a 1 hour. And now over here we'll see availability to book a session with our consultant. I'm going to pick the first day available, which is on Monday, June 26th, and I'm going to choose 11:30 a.m. Now, before I hit next, I just want to point out over here, in order to service you the best possible way, please make sure to book a session with enough time to submit the tasks to your consultant. If you see an availability for a session that day and you don't have enough time to actually send your consultant the information that they need to prepare for the session, it may not work to your benefit. It's always better to leave at least 24 hours before your scheduled consulting session, so therefore you have enough time to give the information over. The more information you give over to your consultant before the session, the more productive the session will be. I'm going to click next. I'm going to put in my name, my last name. I'm going to put in my email. Now, if you're going to invite any additional people to this session, add them by clicking Add Guests. This would be any relevant teachers or staff members that want to also receive a Zoom link to the session. I'm going to put guest at AdmirePro.com. Okay. Now, I'm going to put your organization's name. In this case, I'm going to put AdmirePro. And if anybody else is going to attend this meeting, such as other people that will be sitting and watching on your computer, or anybody else that's not receiving an actual link, you can put the information here and click schedule event. And now we are confirmed. We have all the information here. And if we also go back to our email, we will see the event showcasing over here as well. And it'll be in our calendar and everything is set up. If we go back to Paymo and we go to our tasks, and we scroll all the way down, we're going to see that a new session, a new task has been added, which is the session that we need. We even have the link for the Zoom over here as well. So if we don't have access to our email, or we just want to quickly access the Zoom link, we could do it over here. Over here is where we add tasks for this particular Zoom meeting. Because if you notice, when we booked the meeting on Calendly, we had no place to input what we wanted to talk about. Here is where you're going to put in that information. You're going to click add task. So I'm going to type in want to set up dinner fundraiser. And now I click save task. The task is saved over here. Now, if I wanted to add a subtask, I can click on the task over here and I can add a subtask. So I can write in over here, let's say something particular. I want to target macro donors with email. And then I could also put in another subtask such as generate specific emails for grandparents, etc. Hit save subtask, and those subtasks will be in the task of setting up the dinner fundraiser, so that your consultant will know exactly what your general topic is, but any subtopics as well. In addition to subtasks, we should also leave a description over here and discuss exactly what we want to talk about. As we mentioned before, the more information we put down here, the more our consultant knows and the better prepared they can be in order to help us with our tasks. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to just put out that much information, but the more information you have here, the better off it will be. Now you can hit X over here to close this out and it will be saved. Now, if I want to talk something else during this consultant meeting, let's say setting up PTA, then I can hit save tasks as well. And now I have two separate topics that I want to talk about, and any subtopics that I'd like to put on this particular topic, I would click on the task and add any subtext as well, such as automating the appointments, etc. And hit save subtask, and that will be saved in this topic as well. And as you can see here, after I create these tasks, a ball with the initials of my consultant will show up, which showcases that they received that information about what I want to talk about in this particular task. Now, sometimes after you finish the task and you come back, you'll notice a little bubble over here. That means someone sent a message to you. That means your consultant looked through your task and gave you some feedback on what you put into the task. Let's take a look. I'm going to click over here. And as you can see here, I have a message saying, hi, did you have a chance to check out our knowledge base article regarding PTA? Now, I didn't think of that. Maybe I should have looked at that, and maybe I don't actually need a session. So this is very valuable. I can click on the link here to open it up, and I can see if there's something that is relevant to me setting up the PTA. I can also make sure to check out the community posts related to PTA scheduling. As we saw under the overview tab, there's a link there to community, and I can go there and search for PTA. Maybe the information is there, and I don't need to actually use the time of my session. But if it is still relevant, I can reply. And over here is where we can have a discussion about this particular session. So if I want to reply back and say, no, it is still relevant as the topic isn't covered there. And then I could hit post comment. Now I have a little button over here, this notify button, and I can see anybody attached. So I want my main consultant to know this as well. So I'm going to click that there, and I could choose to choose any other members. So therefore I can know that those two people will get this message back. And if someone else is relevant to this session, I will see their information here as well. And I can hit confirm, and now it will show me on the bottom, notify who is notifying. Now, if you don't choose to notify anybody, don't worry, your consultant will still see it, but this is a way for you to notify someone who isn't necessarily your consultant and you want them to know about it as well. You can hit that notify button. I'm gonna hit post comment and hit X over here. Okay, before we move on, I want to showcase a little bit of this interface here. As you see here, we have the add task button. You would think that this is where you would add tasks, but this is where you should never add a task. Because if you add a task over here, you're not adding it to any particular session, and therefore your consultant will not know what this is related for. So therefore, avoid adding any tasks over here. Instead, if you need to ever add any tasks, attach that task to a specific session. And the way you create sessions, as we mentioned, is by going to Overview and clicking the Calendar link and setting up a session that way. Also over here under tasks, you can filter what tasks you're seeing. Now currently I have the filter set to showcase any unfinished tasks, but I can clear that filter and now it will load all of my tasks. If I want to re-add that filter, I can click add filter, choose completion status, choose unfinished and hit confirm. And again, it will filter and show me only the tasks that are uncompleted, which is the way I prefer to show it. Now over here, you can choose how to see your task by ungroup, task list, due date, or priority. I would very much recommend that you leave it on task list because you will be able to see which tasks are assigned to which session. You can leave the more alone, and you can choose to view the list by list, board, or calendar. I'm going to leave it on list, and that's the one I recommend that you leave it as well. Now, what happens in the chas v'shalom, and this of course will never happen, but emergencies do arise. What happens if something is so crucial you need your consultant to know about it immediately and you do not have time to schedule? So for example, it's the day of the dinner and you're trying to print out your seating tables and it's not working. You can't figure out why. Well, if you're going to try to book a session, well, there may not be availability till tomorrow and you need the answer by today. You need it right now. So how do you go ahead and send a message to your consultant that something is urgent that needs to be taken care of? Well, let me show you. You can add a task. It doesn't matter to which session you add the task to. Do not add the task up here as we showed before, but rather add a task to any session. So I'm just going to choose the last session here, and I'm going to add the task. Tonight is the dinner and I can't print the seating arrangements. Please help. And I'm also going to add the word test, but in your case, you wouldn't add the word test. And then we're going to hit save task. Now I'm going to go into the task by clicking on it. And it's very important that we add a description. Again, the more information we give our consultant, the better off they're going to be able to help us. And remember, we need help urgently, so let's fill in as much information as possible. So once I'm done, I need to do something very important. I need to go over here to the top where it says normal, and I need to change that from normal to critical. As soon as I do this, as I mentioned, all Admire consultants will be notified that there's a critical need and the first available consultant will respond. Again, it's crucial that you only do this in urgent situations. I could also do that over here as well, where I can go to this bubble here and hit the set priority and choose it from critical to normal. Now, what's very crucial to realize is that anytime you change the priority of anything from normal to critical, this will set off that message within our company. So only set a priority to critical when you need something to be done immediately. But something that's critical for your session, just leave it on normal or make it the first task. And that way your consultant will know about it and work on it as soon as possible. Now, let's say one of the tasks you had added to the session is something not relevant anymore. You can always hover your mouse over it and hit delete task. See over here, you can add a description or set dates or upload files and set the priority, etc. Or just click and you can do any of those things as well. Thank you for watching. We here at Admire Academy are constantly creating new content for you so that you can learn how to use the software and communicate with your consultant in the most efficient way possible. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions regarding anything, and we'd be happy to discuss. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.